Hey, welcome back to your favorite Fundamentals College of Math class, you guys. We're going to talk about annuities and loans today. So, most of us can't put big chunks of money like we talked about last time in the market or whatever into an investment vehicle for a long period of time. But what we can do is do smaller amounts of money, paycheck to paycheck or month to month or whatever into some sort of investment or a savings account or something like that, right? So let's say we put $100 in monthly, right, at 12%. So each month you're essentially earning 1% on it, right? 12% for the year, right? Compounding payments occur at the end of the month. So what would you have at the end of 6 months? It would be that $615.20. So it's giving you a little bit of interest each month at the end of the month, right? That can be generalized. So this involves a payment, a month-to-month payment, or you could make like a quarterly payment or even an annual payment, but you're making a payment. Last time when we were talking about this, the compound interest formula, right? Compounding formula. This is a lump sum at the beginning, and you're never adding to it. You never add to it. You just leave it there, right? This one is a payment, right? So A is still the account balance after time. T, payment's the amount you're putting in, typically month to month, but again, it could be like every quarter, every year, or semi-annually, whatever your regular deposit is. R is your interest rate. Make sure it's a decimal. N's your compoundings per year, just like last time, and T is your time and year, okay? So when do you use it? When you're putting in money on a regular schedule. So let's do it for this first one. We put our money into a retirement account in which the money's invested. So we're putting in $100 each month. Let's go ahead and write our formula here. So PMT, we got 1 plus R over N to the NT minus 1 all over R over N. All right. So here, $100 a month, and each month, that month is telling us that N is 12 compoundings per year. Our payment here would be 100. Our interest rate is 6%, so 0.06. And how much will she have after 20 years? So our time is 20 years. Let's go ahead and plug this in. So I have $100 for our payment, 0.06. We're doing this every month. Every month, N is 12, T is 20, all over 0.06 over 12. And let's go ahead and pull that up with Desmos.com. Got the $100 payment, and then we're going to 1 plus 0.06 over 12. Oops. To the 12 times 20, so to the 240. And then this is, let's see, minus 1 divided by R over N, so 0.06 over 12. And there's where we get that 46,204.09. All right, so let's do that now with the calculator. Let's use our time value money calculator. And I also want you to notice there is an app for this. If you want to look in your Play Store, financial calculator, it'll look like that right there. And on my Android, at least, it looks like this. You want to click on time value money calculator. You'll be able to use the website, though, on your exam. So let's go to financialcalculator.com, this website right there. So if you go to fncalculator.com, whoops, sorry about that. Click on time value money calculator right there. And let's do our scenario. So this is zero money at the beginning. We are making a payment of $100. I'm going to be technically correct about that. That means it's costing me. That's the negative 100, right? I'm going to put in a payment of $100. I'm going to find out how much I have at the end. So I'm going to click future value at the end. I think we were making 6% on this. N times T, so that's 12 times 20 years. 12 compounding monthly, right? Make sure you got this monthly. 12 times 20 is 240. I'm making 240 payments on this. And I'm going to click future value. There's my 46204.09. See how it's positive? That means I'm getting that money back. I can take that out after 20 years or whatever, right? Let's go ahead and write this down again. Again, this compounding monthly. We're making $100 payments. So outflowing $100. We're going to click on the future value at the end. It's at a 6%. That goes in as a percent. This is N times T. It's 12 compoundings over 20 years. So 240 goes right here. We're putting 0 in up front. Nothing in at the beginning. This annuity formula is assuming that there is a principal of 0, but we're making payments, in this case monthly payments. And it spit out that 46, or what was that, 46204.09. Spit that out for us on that. So we'll do a couple examples of these. This is kind of a fun one. Let's say you want to be a millionaire in 30 years. And you're going to make a monthly deposit. So how much do you need to deposit every month to be a millionaire in 30 years? So you're solving for payment. What are you going to deposit in there? Now we're starting with 0 for this. And you can use the formula as well if you want to on this. It's pretty tricky to solve for payment on it, but you can. We want to have $1 million in 30 years. So make sure you're compounding monthly. This is N times T. 12 payments over 30 years. So that's 360 periods, 360 payments there. We're going to track the S&P 500, which is average 10%. So we'll put a 10 in there. Let's pull up our calculator and see what kind of payment that'll require every month to be a millionaire in 30 years. So 0 up front. We're going to solve for payment. I want to be a millionaire. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Going to be a millionaire. I'm going to track the S&P 500 10%. I'm going to do this 12 times 30, so 360 payments. 300 compounding monthly. Make sure this is monthly right there. Let's click on that payment, and it costs us. See, the negative is saying cash out. It's costing us $442.38 a month. $442.38. Yes. Let's do another scenario. Let's suppose you want to have $400,000 for retirement in 20 years. So they're giving us what you want to have at the end. I want to have $400,000 at the end, my future value in 20 years. How much do I need to deposit each month? So again, make sure you're monthly. So N times T monthly. I want to do this in 20 years. So I'm going to have 240 right here. This time I'm only getting 6% interest. Maybe I have some crappy investment like bonds or some garbage. Don't do that. Just kidding. Don't listen to me. 6%, right? You want to hopefully do better than that in your retirement account. We're starting out. We're always going to assume we're starting out with nothing with these annuities per se. But let's figure out what would our payment be. All right, I put my numbers in. I click that payment. It's costing me, thus the negative there, $865.72 per month. Let's go ahead and write that down on our notes here. So part A, you get a deposit $865.72 a month at that interest rate. So notice how big that interest rate is, right? It's a much lower 6%. Your return on your investment's a big deal. All right, part B, how much interest will you earn? Well, let's figure out first of all, what did we pay into this? Total paid. We paid $865.72 every year for 20 years. In other words, we made 240 payments. And so this will spit out, we put in $207,772.80. That's how much we actually paid for this. So how much did you earn in interest? How much was all free money? Well, we ended up with $400,000 at the end. So I subtract my 207,772.80. So $192,000 was all free money, right? All interest. So I'm actually going to go back. Let's look at how much interest we earned on this scenario. How much part B? Well, our total payments on this one to become a millionaire, the total payments were $442.38. We did that for 30 years, 12 times a year. So we multiply that by 360. 159,256.80. That's how much we actually put in. So how much was the free money, interest? Well, we ended up with $1 million. We only spent 159,256.80. So this was a ton of interest. $840,000, $743.20 was all compound interest free money. So if you invested that in a Roth IRA, that's free, no taxes on that coming out. That's a big deal. So do that and send me your money. Just kidding. All right, let's take a look now at the next section, payout annuities. So last time we were putting money in on a regular basis, typically month to month, but it could be quarterly. And you end up with a bunch of money at the end, all right? This section, a little bit different. It's called a payout annuity. So you start with a bunch of money in the account and you pull money out on a regular basis. So this is kind of like, I've saved up $1 million for my retirement. How much can I pull out every month until it's all gone? If I'm going to live for 20 years or whatever, right? That's a payout annuity. So pulling money out. So this is the payout annuity formula right here. So P sub 0 is the balance in the account at the beginning. That's like if I had $1 million in my retirement account, that $1 million would go in the P sub 0, right? And then the payment is your withdrawal here. It's how much can I withdraw for that at that interest rate for that many compounds per year over that many years T. Okay. So let's look at an example here. After retiring, I want to be able to take out $4,000 per month for a total of 20 years, 10% interest. Let's go and write down the payout annuity formula. So we're withdrawing now. So we're withdrawing, we want to take out $4,000 every month. So this is our withdrawal every month, and is 12, 20 years, so T is 20. I'm going to earn 10%, so my R is 0.10, 10%. How much will you need in your retirement at the beginning? So we're solving for P sub 0. That's how much I have to have initially. initially in the retirement account. And let's go ahead and punch that into decimals. So I punched it all into decimals here, and we've got the initial amount, or how much you got to have in your retirement. If you're making 10% of the money, it's $414,498.47. You got to have in order to take $4,000 out a month. Now that's if you're making 10% on that money still. So you better start with that much money if you're going to have it last drained out in 20 years, completely drained out. Now let's do that with our time value money calculator. Let me pull up that financial calculator. Reset this. Yeah, I'm going to take it out monthly, so make sure that's monthly. I'm solving for how much I have to have initially. I'm taking out $4,000, or I'm sorry, I get $4,000 a month. I'm going to drain this down to $0. At the end of 20 years, I'll have nothing left. I better die before 20 years is up. At 10%. And my period's n times 12. 12 times 20. 12 times a month for 20 years. 240 times I'm taking out $4,000. So how much do I have to have initially? Present value initially. Punch that in. I have to have it's costing me, thus the negative, it's costing me $414,498.47. I better have that initially when I go to retire if I want it to last for 20 years at 10%. All right, next scenario. You know you'll have $500,000 in your account when you retire. So you're starting with, it's costing you $5,000 up front. That's the initial amount you have. You want to be able to take withdrawals and zero it out by the end of 30 years. Okay, now this is, you're taking it out annual withdrawal. So your N is 1. See how I changed that to annually instead of monthly now? So N times T. Once a year, I'm taking money out. For the whole year, I'm taking it out just one time. I'm doing this for 30 years. So 30 years, and I'm going to click. Oh, and my interest rate here was 8%. And then we're going to click on our payment. So one more time, I'm taking it out once a year. So annually, I'm starting with, it's costing me $500,000. I got to have $500,000 in my retirement account up front. I'm going to drain this out. So I better die within 30 years, n times 2, 30 years, better die before that. I'm making 8% on this. How much could I maximally take out? $44,413.72 a year. So 44,413.72 each year. All right, so this time you want to be able to withdraw $65,000 from your account each year for 30 years. So you want to have annually, every year you're going to take it out. You want to take out $65,000 once a year annually. And you expect to retire in 25 years. So 30 years, so once a year, 30 years. I want to drain this, doing it for 30 years. I'm only getting 6% on it. So how much do I need to start with? How much do I need to have in my retirement? So I need to start to support my lifestyle. So it'll spit that out. All right. So I need that much money. Okay, $894,714.02. So this is step one. That's how much I'm going to need. So then the second question is, okay, well, that's how much I'm going to need in my retirement. And I have 25 years to do this. So how much do I need to deposit? I got to do this in 25 years. Let's say we're still only getting 6% on our interest. I've got to build this up. So I have $894,714.02 in 25 years, and I'm starting with nothing. So what would my payment have to be on that? So I click on that, and that'll give me, I got to save $16,307.70 a year. I got to invest $16,307.70 per year for 25 years to make sure I have that $894,714.02 so that I can sustain my lifestyle in retirement. Well, that is it for annuities, right? Making regular payments, and payoff annuities, making regular withdrawals. And we'll see you next time when we'll talk about loans. Thanks for taking notes.